Welcome to Driving the Development of Career Pathways. This web module is designed to show how one might design, develop, and roll out a career pathway to support job seekers and businesses' talent needs. Career pathways are connected systems of education and training programs that build upon one another to help a person enter and advance in a career. Pathways are business-defined and driven and aligned to the skill needs of targeted industry sectors. They are focused on helping people more easily and quickly enter into and advance in their careers. We're talking about career pathway systems. Career pathway systems describe all of the education, training, and support services that must be connected regionally to help people of all skill levels and abilities grow in a career. Those systems also help businesses within key industries access qualified workers and a qualified talent pipeline over time. Career pathway systems are complex. They require many regional partners, and they often take many years to fully generate. There is no one way to build a career pathway. They don't always follow the same set of linear steps. In fact, steps often have to be revisited and addressed anew as industry needs change. However, the following process is a common path that many regional workforce systems have taken. It is presented here to help you advance your own work in this area. Let's get started. Career pathway development starts with an industry sector partnership. Partners identify a need for and drive the development of career pathways as a workforce solution. The first step involves conducting research on occupations in the target industry. This examination looks at which occupations in a critical industry are growing, projected to grow, offer a family-sustaining wage, and are needed in large numbers. The data will show us a list of occupations likely to be in demand and likely to be good investments for public education and workforce dollars. This data must be shared with the businesses in the industry sector partnership for their review. They'll validate and refine the information and provide other contextual intelligence beyond labor market data, such as additional or alternative jobs and skills which are hard to fill and find in the region. What good industry sector partnerships do next is look at the occupational data and identify trends. Are there broader ways to group these occupations? Look at this example. The key occupations that businesses in this manufacturing sector partnership validated have been grouped into technical support jobs, sales jobs, administrative support jobs, and production jobs. This simple act of grouping begins to show some early pathway options. Grouping this way also helps in looking across industry sectors to determine broader skill, hiring, and/or training needs. Sales skills, for example, are needed in manufacturing industries as they are likely to be in healthcare, IT, and other industries. Once a set of occupations is agreed upon by the partners, career pathway mapping takes place. This results in a visual representation of the competencies and skill, education, and credential requirements of the jobs in the pathway. Here's an example of how one state created a career pathway in commercial construction. Some sector partnerships also include average wage and salary data in the maps they develop. This mapping process can be a resource for assessing current education and training efforts, developing curriculum, selecting training materials, identifying licensure and certification requirements, writing job descriptions, and more, as shown in this example. Next, partnerships perform an education and training gap analysis to determine how well a region is meeting demand for talent and skills in occupations throughout the pathway. Look at completion rates of certain degrees and other credentials of the area's secondary and post-secondary institutions. How many medical assistants are we producing each year versus how many our healthcare providers are saying they need? This helps partners understand where they may be under or overproducing workforce talent relative to actual industry need. This type of gap analysis can help put real target numbers in place and help determine how much more or less capacity schools and other training providers might need to meet demand. Step 5 is where partners begin to map out competencies and skills within an occupation. This step goes beyond curriculum development to look at skills, credentials, education and experience, and preferred training models for all occupations in the pathway. A true career pathway needs to incorporate seamless transitions between education levels, clear on-ramps and off-ramps, and integrated support along the way so those on the pathway remain even if they face challenges as they progress. This step requires a range of partners to be engaged, from higher education to community-based organizations and the workforce system, among others. Partners discuss needs for training and related programming. Who is our target population and what are their needs? What are the training program equipment needs? Here, an initial training and related programming plan will be formed. Once program design and modification is underway, the industry and public partners will take a strategic look at the resource and policy needs to implement the career pathway. Are there any barriers preventing a true career pathway from taking hold? A barrier might be, for example, policies inhibiting articulation agreements between schools, or other administrative or statutory policies making career progression along the pathway more difficult. At this point, many partnerships conduct a resource mapping exercise, identifying financial and other resource needs along the identified pathways and mapping out potential regional, state, or federal solutions. Step 7 includes the finalization of the education and training program design, as well as detailed programming, implementation, and assessment plans. When the career pathway is in place, you must track progress, analyze this information, and report outcome data to partners. Great career pathway efforts use this process to regularly adjust the career pathway design and delivery models. Following these steps ensures continuous improvement and a career pathway model that consistently meets industries and students' needs. That's a general roadmap for developing and sustaining career pathways. Stay focused on your goals and enjoy the journey.